Oh, you have your headphones on? Can you hear me? We're having audio difficulties like crazy today, honey.
Okay, Kelly, I hear no echo from you.
I'm not on anything. Is that gonna throw off? Because I used my headphones and it
still isn't working. Oh, maybe these don't work.
Maybe it's your headphones, Amanda.
Oh, okay. Let me check.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Why aren't you using my mic?
Yes, I hear Amanda.
Because it's upstairs in the incredibly
Okay.
horrible. You guys, I'm being told that I need to go upstairs to use them.
You don't have to. It'll just, like, if you're using the
I'm just using the computer. Well,
that's not
but
gonna sound great.
okay.
I'm just saying.
I'm going. Give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna walk upstairs, ladies. I get it. I fully understand. You're correct. Bye. Have a great day.
Well, Kelly, your hair is looking fabulous today.
Well, thank you very much. I tried today really hard.
I tried.
Okay.
I'm sporting bedhead.
Oh, well, that's very
it
cute.
looks good for bedhead.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And I don't have I didn't put any makeup on or anything. I'm like, you know what? I'm just rolling up in here.
I wasn't gonna, and then I'm like, well, I have 3 other things I'm doing today, so I'll just put myself together. Why not?
Right.
It took me a whole 10 minutes.
Well, Kelly's getting settled. Can I show you the back of this shirt? So it's a yoga shirt I got for Christmas, and I think it's super cool. Let me see if I can do this.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's
cute.
neat.
Like a little peekaboo,
Yeah.
and it's got a mesh. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think it's super cool. Yeah.
Do you see this?
Oh, jeez. Oh, well.
This is why I did not want to do it in here.
Yeah, I'm in my husband's closet.
Oh, well, you know what? That's a good.
There.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it switched.
Well, while she's getting set up, can I show you something else?
Yes.
Amanda, you will appreciate this as studying the 4 tendencies.
Oh my God.
You see how my husband organizes his t-shirts?
That's really, he did that?
Oh yeah, this is all him.
Crazy.
I don't do his laundry. He's always done it, and like I just take care of me and the girls. But this is extra cool.
Yeah.
When he takes a t-shirt, when he takes a t-shirt out, he takes the coat hanger and he moves it down to the end.
Oh my goodness.
So he doesn't have to go digging through. And then he also, I don't know, somehow he keeps track of the rotation too, so he doesn't wear the same shirt too often. Like there's a whole thing behind it.
Wow.
I know,
wild.
right? But I love walking into his closet because everything has its place and it's organized.
That's amazing. Do you know what my husband does? Pulls it off and the hanger goes flying, and then they're all over the place, and I'm just like, oh, great. That's funny.
My closet has hangers sticking up everywhere. I try to organize by the type of clothes. Like these are my dresses, these are the long sleeve shirts, these are short sleeve shirts. Like I try to have some semblance of organization.
Yeah.
But I find it stresses me out to maintain this style of organization. I would rather deal with the lower stress of going, where's my hanger?
Yeah.
You guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it switched over. Sorry about that. I would just make sure my levels are right. Okay.
And I'm using my phone this time and in the closet, so I don't have that humming of the fan in the background.
Cool.
Oh, you know, I think it's me. I mean, not me personally, but my computer with the lighting. So next time we do this, I'm actually going to use my other computer because I think I think I have so much light right now. I should look like Anna. That's all I'm saying.
That's all right.
I have fluorescent some sort of lighting in here. It's fabulous. It's making my nose look really big.
Well, this side makes my cheek look like it's actually swollen.
No,
I don't know what's going on.
No, actually it does.
I have a big nose anyway.
It's fine. Again, let's not point out our flaws. We're good.
Yeah, let's not do that.
We're beautiful.
No.
We need to edit that out.
No.
Nobody needs to hear that.
It's okay, because everybody else does it too.
Who cares?
Okay.
So how are you guys?
I'm feeling somewhat normal now.
Are you good?
Yeah. So.
The better setup. See how my husband was like, you could stay down. He was like looking at me like, you better go upstairs or we're gonna have to do this all over again. That's
Well,
just
is
like,
he trying to do something or?
well,
like-
because what happens is when you did your initial, you didn't have a microphone. And the difference, he tried so hard to get you to be equal to us that he couldn't do it. So he had to go in and do this and do that and all the things. So he's staring at me basically like, you're going to give me so much more work if you don't go upstairs and use the good microphone. So.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I hope that I sound okay this time. I don't know. Like,
You do me a favor. Go to hold on. Let me go into
in my settings.
preferences. Sorry, in Zoom.
Oh, in Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
The where? Oh no.
If you go to zoom.us at the top.
Oh, you want me to actually go? Okay.
And go into preferences. And just take a look at where your microphone volume input and output doesn't really matter.
Into the settings?
It
says
audio. Yeah, it's under settings. I'm sorry.
Under settings.
Audio.
Recording.
And it should have
recording.
It should say speaker and then microphone. Do you see that?
There's a lot in here.
It's so funny how the different computers run different things. Mine has only 2 options.
Well, then where are you looking? Here.
I'm under settings, audio, microphone.
Okay, so here's the settings.
Okay, here.
So I clicked on settings. Audio type. Telephone and computer, telephone, computer. No, that's for when people come on.
Yeah.
Microphone and speaker.
That is so funny. I don't have any of this. Go back down a little bit. I meant up, I'm sorry. Go to recording. Record active speaker with shared screen. Oh, and you don't have the controls. That's so weird. Okay. I don't know. Mine has like a little bar that tells me what level I'm at. You know what? For our next time, I'll just have my husband show me his screen and he can show me what, because what happens is if I don't have my level at a certain amount, it will, you can turn it up and then you can become louder on the recording. But I think you're fine.
Okay.
If he has to, you know, do the thing, it's all good.
Okay.
My audio is fine, right, Kelly?
You do sound a little bit more quiet than usual, but I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. Now that took 20 minutes to get us set up, but that's okay.
Well, that's only because we haven't done it in so long.
I know.
But now that we know we can do Zoom, that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So the notes we have, our intended objective today is to record 3 episodes. Given the time we have, we may or may not be able to do that. So I would say let's not feel pressured to record 3, but let's try to get a solid 1, 2, if not 2, under our belt.
Yeah. Okay.
So the first episode that we were wanting to talk today, we had tentatively titled it What's Up 2020. But I kind of want to think about talking about the last 29 days, right? Called the last 29 days, something like that. I feel like all 3 of us have had massive changes going on with our business, in our personal life, with our mindsets. And digging into those, I think a lot of ladies are going to be able to relate to what we've been going through and the shifts that have been happening. I always think of that scene from Friends where they're carrying the couch up the stairs and they're like, pivot.
No.
I feel like there's been a lot of that going on. So I would love to chat about that first on our episode today.
Awesome.
And then episode 5, we were going to talk about tendencies and the overview and kind of asking like, am I the problem? Like talking about personal growth related tendencies. And then the 6th episode, we were going to talk about like frameworks to foster growth. And I'm not exactly sure where we were going with that. I don't know if we were super clear on it. So that's kind of where we're headed. Side note, we had talked about doing mini commercial breaks in our podcast this time, where we're going to offer some tangible tips for how to build your brand, how to reach your goals, how to be a better human. Do you feel like recording the tips first before we get into it, or do we want to get into it and then record the tips after?
I think
the questions or the tips? I'm sorry.
I think the tips at towards the end when we're more into this.
Alive.
Yeah.
Did anybody do a good question? I only saw one question.
Yeah, that one lady, and she's never commented in the group. So I was like, oh, and I think she might be somebody Sarah had recommended to the group. What
I liked about it is I think it will start our fire for this morning. Like, so what am I supposed to do? Just listening to that. I mean, just reading that question, I was like, oh, well, that'll light us up going. We have, that'll get us started. So I don't know. It's up to you. It's very broad, but we can take it in a specific.
So should we pause and then I'll do a brief intro into like, here's a question from so-and-so. And then Amanda, you can read the question and then we'll maybe each give a little brief about our answer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Let me mark down the time here. So that when we come back to find this segment.
I am so sorry. I am having such a hard time processing this morning. You just said that you would read the question and then we would just each talk about what we thought, right? Is that what you just said? Oh,
yes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. I need to go finish that cup of coffee I have downstairs.
Kelli.
Did you have your Ninja or your Ionics this morning?
I did not. I have not had time to I was trying to last until noon because I did
because you're doing your cleanse. Okay, gotcha. Awesome.
But that's not going to happen again. I apologize.
Get those adaptogens in yourself. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll do just a quick little bloop. And Amanda, why don't you go first and say, here's who the question is from, read the question. And then Amanda, I feel like this is your zone of genius. So would you be comfortable going first? Answering it?
Yes, sure. I mean, it's so broad. It's like, well, how do you, because I asked her questions, what type of products do you promote and how do you like to share them? Mm-hmm. So I guess, I'll go into it. That's fine. I have ideas.
I was going to say, you probably have ideas. What is your biggest thing that we always say? Hello, relationships, right?
Right. And that's what I probably am going to go into.
I was like, oh, that's so like us. So
okay. Anyway. All right. So go ahead, Anna.
Okay. So we'll do our 10-second pause. Okay. Here we go. Ready?
Not 10. 3.
Hey, you interrupted.
Sorry, but again.
Kelli. I know. 3 seconds.
We know it's 3.
All right. Ready? And now a question from one of our listeners.
So Jennifer Lynn asks, and she's actually a social structure member. She says, what would help me the most in actual, I think she did. Okay, wait a minute.
That's okay.
She wrote, what would help me the most is actual examples of the best. Oh, it is right. Okay, let's start over.
You're good. You're fine.
Okay. I think my thing was good. So we'll pause and then you can start with the question today comes from blah, blah, blah.
And the question today comes from Jennifer Lynn. She's actually a social structure member. What would help me the most is actual examples of the best ways to share my products and opportunity. So she's looking for some examples to share her products. So it's not really an answer. It's more or less a conversation. So for me, how would I share my products? How would you share your opportunity? You need to build relationships. It is not just here's my stuff, buy my stuff. It's like, how do you need to ask yourself the questions too. How do you want to share? How do you want to show up authentically? So if you want to build on social media, if you want to grow that presence on social media, how are you going to show up? Because live video might not be for you, but it might. Showing up through writing text posts, building relationships with people. Do you have a group that you're a part of, communities you're part of? Start making connections with people. This isn't a straight streamlined answer like this is how you do it. This is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. There's no steps to answering this question. It's how do you want to show up as you so that you can start building relationships and connections with people to then share with them the opportunity, share with them the product, see if it's for them, because you don't even know if this product's for them. It's not for everybody. So there really is no perfect answer to this question. It's you must ask yourself the questions of how am I going to do this? So I think that is basically it in a nutshell.
Yeah, well, and also too, like, because I could see it in your eyes, Amanda, it's what builds you a fire, right? So it's not just like, why am I, what am I selling? What am I doing? It's what about this project lights me on fire? What about this project?
What is happening?
Sorry. What about this project?
Chad, can you turn the light on, please?
If you could only, oh my God, her husband turned off the light. Okay, so we can all see each other right now. For all of you listening, we can see each other right now on Zoom. And this is how we record. And Anna went dark. Like, her eyes are glowing. We didn't know what happened. Her husband turned off the light. She's in the closet right now.
Well,
that was really funny. Like, I needed that good laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, so
pause for a second. I'm in my husband's closet because it is the only room in the house where I'm guaranteed no interruptions and where there's no fan, there's no like weird sounds, there's no echoes. It's the best for sound. So I'm literally sitting on my favorite chair in my husband's closet, which I moved in here to sit on for this recording.
That was amazing.
All right,
really
keeping it real over here at the table.
That is worth going back to the YouTube channel and watching everybody who's listening right now.
Yes, we are on YouTube too, everyone, and that is totally going to be worth it for you.
I couldn't see anything while that was happening, so I'll probably have to go back and watch it too.
Oh, it was really funny. Our reactions.
I was like, what happened to Anna? Okay.
Okay. So back to the,
so Kelli, you were talking about what lights you up inside related to about the product. Yeah.
About the product, because that's what's going to make you want to share, and that's what's going to get that contagious relationship. Oh yes, tell me more, tell me more. And then of course asking questions like we talked about before, those type of things. But first you got to find that fire, I think, that makes you excited, because everybody, even if like for instance, Anna, you have your you love anything adaptogenics, and that like lights you up on fire. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily the shakes or the this or the that, but those adaptogens, I see it in your eyes every time we talk about it. So that's the angle you use, because it's what makes you happy and excited and contagious.
Because it's not the way that you fall in love with your product or your thing, right? It's not how it's packaged. It's not the label on the bottle. It's not even the description. It's how it makes you feel when you use it, as compared to how you felt before you found this. So when you are wanting to encourage people to take a look at your thing, you can't blast the product across social media or in your face-to-face conversations. It's all about figuring out, will the effects of this product solve the problem this person is telling me about? But in order for them to feel comfortable to even engage in that conversation, to tell me about their problems, to answer my questions, they have to know me. And then they have to like me, and they have to trust my opinion. So when Amanda talks about, finding or like figuring out how you want to show up, that's saying, here I am, this is who I am. Do you feel comfortable with me? Do I make you feel comfortable in my space? and then we build a relationship. And then Kelli, if I have something that I absolutely love, it lights me up. Of course, that excitement is going to bubble over into my conversations. And I can be excited about adaptogens. I could also be super excited about this yoga shirt I have. I can be super excited about this cool pair of earrings I got. So when you're wanting to build relationships, you literally just have to show up willing to be friends with somebody, to care about them, to share your solution if you find they need it because of a problem they've expressed. And then you give them the freedom to say yes or no with no obligations and no strings attached.
Love it.
Nailed it. Okay.
So did we answer your
That's a
question?
wrap.
You got to let us know.
I think that was yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's
the next-
that. Moving on.
The past 29 days are we at the 29th day of the month? Is that what you're saying to me, Emma?
Yeah.
Yep.
2 more days in the month.
You know my birthday month starts in 2 days, right?
Oh yeah.
Woo-woo!
Big deal for me.
I feel like an intro to this next part of the podcast might be what I said earlier about how here's what we're going to talk about today, or like kind of our agenda. I feel like I kind of explained the shift, the pivot, etc.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
Put that
So
in.
how about we just start talking about how, like, the last 29 days.
Yeah, so we'll have your intro and then we'll just start talking,
Okay.
basically.
All right. Who would like to go first on talking about the last 29 days?
Do you want to, Kelli? No? Yes?
Well, the past 29 days for me has been kind of a blur. Let me tell you, when I said to you, is it really the 29th of January? I'm not joking, because every single day has been packed for me with new experiences, with a lot of fun things, a lot of internal work that I'm doing, and also trying to find my place. I think that's the biggest thing, is that all of us, and you know, as we talk on a daily basis, we know that we've done such a mental shift, body shifts, everything since even the first time we recorded to now, that we're all just kind of like, oh my gosh, these shifts were so big that it's like, okay, now I got to find my place right now in the world. And it's funny because Amanda, you two inspire me on a daily basis, just your posts. I mean, we've been together here for almost 2 years, and yet I still look for our feeds and social structure and Revive to Thrive, and how it changes or it helps me continue to go on a daily basis. But I sat down today because it's my day off that I'm working on, but I'm working for me, right? I'm doing what I need to do. And I thought to myself, well, I need to switch all these things. As you guys know, I've been working on that. I got to switch up everything because my brand doesn't match me. And I thought, well, what really is that, right? Because it's not going to be what it is today. It's not going to be the same thing next week. It's not going to be the same thing next month. It might be, but it's going to grow and evolve and change. And I think I'm so focused on, I want to get this done and completed and move on to my next task, that it hinders me, right? Because I can't grow that way. So I think just my biggest thing is learning this past 29 days that nothing is going to be steady and finished, which I know. Amanda has been telling us this forever, but it's for some reason really sticking to me right now that I need to like get something finalized, and I don't, and just working through those. So that's been my 29 days. That's a lot, right?
Yeah, but I think it's actually pretty profound. And I feel like, I mean, we obviously, I mean, you said we have had conversations. Like, Kelli, you and I talk almost on a daily basis. And Amanda, we all talk, 2, 3, 5 times a week. Okay.
At
So
least.
I've had a front row seat to the last 29 days for you, Kelli. And what I've observed about what you're calling your chaotic 29 days is I've seen you take a step out of your comfort zone, and as you're stepping, I don't see you wobbling, and I don't see you shaking or trying to find your balance. Like, I see it you're really confident about the steps you're taking. you have shared your beautiful gift of Reiki with me, and you've impacted me in that. Like, just that growth and change has been astounding in how you've helped me with my energies. It's that all of that's amazing. I also feel like your brand is evolving because you're evolving. And if you take this step back and try to say, well, I need my website to be a mirror to who I am, to who my brand, you're not able to pin that down yet because you're in transition. Like, you're not stopping in front of any mirrors. You're walking, you're going. And at some point you're going to pause and have a look in the mirror, and you're going to go, that's what I am. And this is who I want to reflect myself being right now. But you're moving too fast to pin yourself down. You're in such an awesome stage of growth that I think right now for yourself, as you're figuring out, how do I want the world to see my brand? How do I want the world to see me? Is I'm trying to find the words here to tell you this, but it's so beautiful what I'm seeing from the outside. Like, I don't want you to stop changing. Like, keep going.
Thank you.
Keep going. And when you do find that moment of pause and reflection, what you're gonna mirror back to yourself is going to be better than anything you would be able to do as you're transitioning into what your next pause is.
Oh, I love that. That was like perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what's so important of having the relationship the three of us do, is that we do see each other as we're going through this, and that we may project the confidence and all the things, but then deep inside, we don't see ourselves on the outside. But it's good. It's nice to have other people that do. So I'm going to take that to heart and keep moving forward.
So Amanda has holy bananas, y'all. If you're new to Amanda, like, and you get to her website or you see her Facebook page, she has stopped in front of that mirror and she is like, oh my gosh, she's on fire. So I feel like, Amanda, you spent the last month transitioning your brand because you went through massive pivots in yourself personally. And right now your mirror is reflecting that really powerful change. So walk us through your last 29 days.
Oh my goodness. It's like, where do I start? Okay, I'll start from the beginning. So basically the end of 2019, I kind of hit, I don't know if you want to call it a wall. I was like, I need to figure out who I am, and I need to take a step back for a second. I even contemplated taking a month away from social media. Like, that would have been like huge for me, because I love social media. It's my space. I love my people, but I had to go more inward and figure out what my direction was, because again, the outside noise is noisy and it gets loud, and you know when it's time to take a break. And I was taking a couple weekends off. I would take 3 days off of social media. Yes, I'd pop in a few times, but it wasn't constant. So taking those breaks and figuring out who I was, and I was very vulnerable with my group. Now, I didn't share a lot on my personal wall. I share all the stuff in social structure because those are my people, and I'm going to be real, and I'm going to be open. I'm going to be honest in there. So I was basically saying, I need to figure out who Amanda is. And reading this book, The 4 Tendencies, allowed me to realize that I am a rebel, and I'm realizing all the things, the patterns that I created, all the habits that I created, all the things that I was doing I was self-sabotaging myself. And again, like I had talked about in previous episodes about, didn't I talk about how I gained 20 pounds because I was rebelling against myself, and over the last couple of years. So I went inward, and one day it just hit me. And I don't know if it was the beginning of January or the end of December, it just hit me. And I'm like, transformation. Like, I need to focus on transformation for 2020. And literally within the last 29 days, so much has happened. My head is spinning, and it's in a good way. Like, I went, okay, I realized that I don't need to figure out who I am. I already know exactly who I am. I know exactly what I like. I know exactly what I don't like. And I know exactly where I'm going. I have exactly the life I want. everything in reality, in hindsight, is perfect. But why was I searching for something that was already right in front of me? Like, it was like, everything's right in front of me. I have done the work. I put in the time. I put in the energy to all the spaces. So it's now I have to completely step into who I know I am. And I feel that I was almost afraid to, because of people thinking that I'm too much, or I'm too loud, or I'm too this. Well, this is who I am. This is who I've always been. So it's like the end of the year, I kind of like almost went into a hole, like, okay, I need to quiet the noise. I need to shut, like, don't be fully you, Amanda. I don't know what it was, but all of it happened for a reason. And I've done a total rebrand. I totally redid my entire website, and I fully stepped into who I am. And I thought at first when I did my rebrand, and if you haven't seen it yet, you can obviously find me on Facebook. It's dark, it's bold, it's loud. And some people think, oh my God, it's too dark, or it's too this. Well, too bad. It's too, I like it, and this is me. Like, it's just, it's been crazy. There's a lot that's coming that I have not even shared with people. So there's some stuff coming up that I'm really, really excited about.
I'm over here going, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
But I will say, my ladies from the alumni group, which you two are some, will know first. And it's in February. It'll be happening in February of what's going on, because I've kind of planned out this year and really know my direction, where I'm going, because OIS, Organize Your Stuff, which
Something like that.
Yeah, we won't say that word in case children are listening. But OIS has grown into something that is more powerful than I could have ever imagined. So all of that has led up to this. So I was always shied away by funnels. Like, you start here, you move to the next level. But it's something I've always wanted to do, is create like a funnel system. So then it's all automated, and there's less work I have to do. So starting out with email, and then moving into, I'm creating a mini brand, U-Plan course. And then you can lead into OIS, which is a group coaching program. And then it leads into one-on-one if you choose to do that. So, and then I have my alumni group that I'm going to be transforming and doing a lot of things with. So it's all led up to this, and it's kind of surreal. It's like, is this really happening? So it's really cool, and I'm really excited. And it's been a crazy 29 days. Let's just say that. So.
But I feel that it's so you. Like, every time I go on in social structure, I see that progression and that those changes, but it's always you. It's always that fire of you. It's always that motivation so when you say that you've always had it and it's always been there, it has, because there has not been 1 ounce of dip in your excitement, in your presence, in your energy, in wanting to help people, and knowing that, excuse me, that as you're growing and you say changing, it's still you. Like, it's all you. It's just all you. And
absolutely.
That's what's so exciting.
Yep. Amanda and I are coming up on our 1-year friendiversary here in February. She popped onto one of my lives, I think, because we had a mutual friend through a live video challenge. Anyway, and she built the relationship with me, and I built the relationship with her. And we figured out that we are good for each other, for friendship, for business, for social media. And not that, good for each other means like, oh, I help her get business and she helps get mine. But we encourage each other to keep our light ignited. We encourage each other to find what ignites that light and to fuel that. So, Amanda, I totally agree with what Kelli said. As I've watched you this last year, I think the common denominator that runs, I think, through your year, from my perspective, is this fierce persistence to be yourself. And I was talking with somebody last week when I was in Phoenix, and we will never, ever, ever get to the end of our growth. The end of our growth is death. Like that's what happens. We die, right? And depending on your beliefs about afterlife or whatever, like, that's a discussion for another podcast, not ours, right? But along the way, it's just, it's a movement, and then pit stop, movement, pit stop, movement, pit stop. And we never will ever get to the ultimate, final, finished, polished version of ourselves. The only thing we have is growth, rest, growth, rest, growth, and rest.
Exactly.
And that's the journey. That's life. And it's so amazing, and it takes so much pressure off. And this is what I've been learning in the last 29 days, is it has taken so much pressure off of me when I feel like I'm not hustling towards this perfect version of myself. I've stopped hustling towards the perfect me. And instead, I've really focused on, what am I doing in my current path, my current journey, that is bringing me the joy and the contentment and the success and the pride and the learning experiences that I hope to have when I get to that perfect me. Does that make sense? So when I think about what my version of the perfect me is, it's a mom who always has energy, who always has patience with her kids, who laughs a lot, who does things spontaneously without scheduling too much in, somebody who takes care of the piles of papers around her house with ease, somebody who always has her laundry done and folded, somebody who her hair turns out perfectly every day, somebody who has time for meeting friends for coffee, right? Somebody whose kids are always well behaved. Like, this idea of this perfect version of Anna that someday I'll get to, and I'll finally arrive and it will all fall into place. That's that word. That's not going to
never happen. You're chasing
it will
something
never happen.
that will never happen. You will never be perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the end of 2019, I was looking to find my word for 2020. And the words I came up with were clear and consistent, because I was like, I am going to get clear on who I want to be, and I'm going to be consistent in getting there. And what the universe did is it gave me a big old kick in the butt. Second week of December, I was leaning over my tub to give my kids a bath, and a disc slipped in my lower back. And I'm like, why is this happening? We got company coming in for Christmas, and it's Christmas. It's just like the most hardest time of the year for me. And anyway, fast forward till January, beginning of January, what I realized is that I was hustling so hard towards this perfect version of myself that I was losing out on the joy of the journey. And I was losing that spontaneity and that fun and all the things that I thought I wanted to feel when I got to that perfect version of myself, I wasn't even feeling now. So through some super wise counsel, through Larissa Martinzik, she's an intuitive numerologist, through like Reiki healings that Kelli has sent me, through basically taking a really hard look at myself, doing some joy journaling, doing some, like I said, kind of like looking at myself and being like, what are you doing, Anna? Where are your weaknesses? And we got to fix this. I feel like I have taken steps towards finding the joy in the present moment, because that's literally all we have. We don't have the past anymore. We're not guaranteed the future. So we have to take a look at, if I feel like the perfect version of me is somebody who feels joyful on a regular basis, then I need to figure out what makes me joyful now and do more of that. If I feel like
you're doing that.
If I feel like the perfect version of me is somebody who follows up on her phone messages in a timely manner, then that's what I need to do now. Okay? Like,
it's true.
If it's something that like, I'm like, I really wish that I could figure this out and be this, like, I want to be this person, and I've got to figure out how to do it right now. Because if not now, when?
Right. What are you waiting for?
What am I waiting for? But for me, the key was the universe had to stop me, literally physically stop me and slow me down to say, Anna, your success is not going to come from the hustle and grind. It's going to come from finding ease. And the only way you're going to find ease is as you find joy in every single moment you can throughout the day. This is not like everything's roses, brownies, and sunshine over here. It's not. It's not. But even in the crap, you can find inside peace and inside contentment and inside joy. The phrase that literally changed it for me, as I was fighting this back thing and I was not healing like I wanted to. And I realized what I was doing is I was denying the blessing that it was trying to teach me. I was denying the lesson it was trying to teach me. As soon as I heard this phrase, everything switched and I'm almost 100% healed. 6 weeks later, my disc is almost healed. And the phrase was, even in this, I am blessed.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a pile of laundry to fold. Even in this, I am blessed. I've got tons of papers in my office I have to file. Even in this, I am blessed. What is the good and the joy of what I'm viewing as something that's not the perfect version? What's the blessing? What's the lesson? What's the joy? And I know you can't see me right now, but like my heart is so full because this lesson has been so powerful. 29 freaking days, people. 29 days can shift your entire life if you're open to the lesson of the present moment.
That was beautiful.
Boom. That's
What?
the end. That was the end.
I mean,
That was awesome. Oh, Anna.
Seriously, I'm
say
gonna
that-
cry over here.
and we don't have to use this next part that I'm going to say, but if you really look at the common denominator between the three of us, December slowed us down to places where we needed to be. You know how sick I was. Physically, right? I could barely talk. I was so sick and I had to rest. Amanda, you had a different type of slowdown where you had to go in. And Anna, same thing, but yours needed to, mine was physically as far as a virus. Yours was physically as far as your body. And we all had to go inward in order to really jump out for 2020. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
100%. 100%.
See, it's crazy because it was different the end of this year of 2019 for me, because when I was in network marketing, December was like hustle, like because it's December and people are buying Christmas gifts and it was hustle, hustle, hustle. So 2019 for me was totally a different type of hustle. It wasn't a hustle. And that word to me now, I don't even use that. Like I'm not hustling for anything.
No.
I have turned this into, I'm showing up as me. That's all there is to it. Like it's not, I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to have this and meet this quota. I need to meet this. I need to sell this. I need to go here. I need to do this. I don't need to do anything. So December was different for me.
So I'm going to refer to her again. We'll drop her information in the show notes, and maybe someday she'll come on our podcast. But Larissa Martinzik, intuitive
we love her.
We need to have guests. We are eventually.
She has a private group that's, what do you call it when you pay a small monthly fee to be a membership group?
Mm-hmm.
That's not free. And oh my gosh, the value that and the things she does in there for us are far beyond the very small amount that I pay to be part of that. Anyway, she was doing angel card readings the other day, and she said, drop your question that you have for your angels. And the question I dropped was, if I keep moving in this certain direction, will I end up reaching the women I want to serve? Right? Well, first of all, when you're asking your angels those sort of questions, you don't want it to be a yes or no question or a yes or no answer. So my question was too closed. I need to ask a more open-ended question. So she reworded it for me. It was a beautiful way she reworded it. But the answer that came through, I think, is super valuable for all three of us, is that there's nothing you can do to attract the woman you're seeking to serve. Because what the secret is in being the woman you want to serve, and as you are being the person you want to help and showing up for yourself like you want to show up for them, they will enter your life because you are, and this is a little woo-woo, your energetic matches to them, and your energy will attract them, and your energy will repel those who aren't meant to be in your space. So it's like, you've got to treat yourself and honor yourself first. And as you are doing that and showing up and sharing about that journey and really taking that time to do the inner work, the women who are meant to learn from you will enter that space. And Amanda, that's what you have done this last year. I've known you almost a year. You're doing that. You honor yourself first and you put yourself first. You call it being selfish, which I think is an awesome word now. You've taught me it's an awesome word, because the more selfish you are about figuring yourself out, the more ease and the less hustle you're going to have in finding the woman who wants to buy your product because she needs the same help you needed. The woman that you can help with your encouragement and your wisdom and your experience and just your community that you're building. So we're not here to serve everybody. We're here to serve the people that can learn from us. But before we can teach somebody, we have to go through the lesson ourselves.
Okay, what you just did needs to be our commercial.
Okay. I like it.
I think so. Like from when she started, like what Larissa said, that was incredible.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Like,
so that's our
the
commercial.
lesson.
So write that down, Anna.
Okay.
Our
So
break.
like from 10:23 to 24 is our commercial.
That was good.
Okay. And that is, okay, our commercial. Perfect. Okay.
Love it.
Woo! We are on fire today,
Yes.
girls.
I'm
Yes.
telling
Okay.
you.
So that is obviously the episode for 29 days. We got the commercial. We answered the question. Now what are we leading into? Anna?
We're going to switch over to the 4 tendencies.
Okay. First, I need a potty break. So if you ladies want to do what you need to do and start, and then.
Okay.
I didn't hear what you said.
I think she's going to start and go to the bathroom. Kelli, would you be willing to do the kind of the intro to the 4 tendencies? Like, hey, we're going to talk about 4 tendencies now, and here's why.
Yeah. Okay. I will. That was just like really good.
I know. I feel like I need a minute. Whew.
That's me too. I'm like,
Kelli,
I need some water, but I'm caught off guard because I usually have my water and, my coffee. We are at like 1 week and I've only had 1 rock star.
You're a rock star.
I'm trying.
Game on. Let's go. I know. I can't wait till we talk later today. You'll have to tell me all about your progress.
Oh yeah. Well,
What's going well, what's not going well,
okay.
and what we can do.
Well, it's so interesting because as I was talking, or this morning has been really good for me because I started doing some things that I wanted to do for myself. And I noticed that I keep wanting to find an end. And there's no end. And I have to really work on that mindset today, is just shifting it to there's no end. There's no end even if you lose all your weight. There's no end if you get your website to the part where you think it's perfect. There's no end when we stop cycle your way. It's just it's a constant. And it was really, but I binged Dr. Beth Westy on my drive to work and back yesterday.
Yeah.
So that was really neat. So,
awesome. Oh, I love that. The mindset of there is no end.
There is no
There's
end.
no end.
It's really sad if you think about it to want to have an end.
Whoa.
Don't fall.
Okay. I'm taking notes as we go so that I have a better time markers for when we want to cut this and split it up.
Perfect.
So
that's such a huge help for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a lot of the tech work on that end. Hopefully that the paper rustling isn't going to show up. And if it is, then whatever. We'll fix that the next time we record. Okay. So Kelli's going to do a quick intro on 4 tendencies. And then Amanda, would you give a little bit of, I feel like you're the expert in this.
What do you want me to say? Just what they are?
I don't know.
Am I literally just sharing what the 4 tendencies are? Because we're talking, literally this episode is about the 4 tendencies, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just
where
go
it's going to go, I don't know, but.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And maybe we could connect this. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed with our failures, and the road bumps we run into and the walls we hit. Am I the problem? Am I the crazy one? Is there something wrong with me? Why do I keep failing, right? Whatever failing means. The 4 tendencies, fire, because it tells us we're not crazy. We're not the problem. We just are working in the wrong framework. So when we reframe how we're doing our things that we do every day, we can find success in it because we're not fighting against ourselves. We're finding the way we work best. That's the 4 tendencies.
Okay, there you go.
I
I
mean, we
paused
can-
so I could just cut it right there.
We can, yeah, there
Okay.
you go.
Sorry, man. I mean, Anna, you go first. You went first.
Okay.
Actually, do you know what I might do though? Is I'll start it with that, and then I'll just come in real quick and say, okay, so let's talk about these 4 tendencies. Let's see what they really mean
There,
as
yeah.
far as for each person
Okay.
and what they are. Amanda, you're the expert, so let's start with you.
All right, so you go.
All right, go ahead, Kelly.
I did. I'm using
No,
that.
we were all talking over you.
No, you weren't.
Okay.
All right.
Sometimes you just got to go with it.
All right, we'll go with it. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's talk about the 4 tendencies. So there are 4 tendencies. There is an upholder, there is a rebel, there is a questioner, and there is an obliger. So what do the 4 even mean? So when I first started really getting into this, once after Anna introduced this to me, and she introduced this to me in the beginning of November, literally as OIS, the first time I ran it started. And it was the most perfect timing I could have ever imagined. Like, it was perfect because it allowed me to first help figure out myself so that I could better communicate with people and allow people to figure out how to figure out their stuff. So an upholder, basically they're saying, is my discipline is my freedom. Okay, so there's an upholder. They meet outer expectations and they meet inner expectations. They're basically perfect. Oh, wow.
I'm going to pause for a second here
Oh.
because I think somebody who is listening to this are like, what's an expectation? What's an
Okay.
outer expectation? What's an inner expectation?
Then I would like you to say that because I think you explain that a little bit better than I do.
Okay, yeah, because this is like super key.
Yeah, I know. And I thought of that as I was starting to say that. I'm like, well, what are expectations? How are people going to know?
That's okay. So
No, I know.
let's tell the peoples.
Okay.
Everybody's on the edge of their seat, right? Here we go. What are expectations? So Gretchen Rubin is the one who came up with this whole paradigm, this whole theory. I heard her she was a guest on Rachel Hollis's podcast. We often, the 3 of us, say, oh my gosh, you've got to listen to this podcast. It was amazing. And that's what I did kind of on a whim. I just sent Amanda this podcast and said, you got to check this girl out. I think she'd be right up your alley. Gretchen Rubin teaches that everybody goes through life managing external and internal expectations. External expectations are things like your to-do list that other people put on you. That list of things you need to do by the end of next week for your boss. The list of things you need to do in your home because you need to make sure it stays running properly. The list of things that you need to do for the errands you're running around. It can even be perceived expectations that you think other people have of you, like how they're expecting you to go through your day or show up. So those are external expectations. Classic example for me is I have an external expectation that I'm going to show up every month and volunteer at my church to help with curriculum prep, right? That's an expectation. Inner expectations are things that come from your own desires and your own wants and needs. And true yes or yes, do we often feel like there's conflict between what I want to do and what others are expecting me to do? Like there's a push and pull there, absolutely. And depending what tendency you are, is you're going to respond to those external obligations or expectations differently than somebody else. And you're also going to respond to those inner expectations, desires, and wants differently than other people. So what Gretchen has done is she said, well, here's the framework for how you respond to inner and outer expectations. And here's how you can hack your tendency so that you don't feel like you're running around crazy.
Yep, that's it. Nailed it.
So
Can I
back,
just say one real quick thing, you guys? This is so funny. So, and I'm going to bleep this out, so don't worry. There's on my husband's show on NBC, there's this one guest that comes on live from Las Vegas every day. And every Thursday and Friday, he's always recorded from his closet. And I cannot get that out of my head as I watch Anna in her closet. Because I always thought to myself, why is he in his closet? So now it like totally makes sense to me. But all I can see is you on that show in the closet.
And there's like no echo.
I know, it's so funny.
it's the perfect space. It's absolutely
It is,
perfect
but
space.
it's like I keep seeing him as I look at you. But anyway, okay, I'm going to take that out.
Okay. Okay, so how do you want me to start this back up?
Sorry.
I would say something like, okay, so back to the upholder. Maybe just state that again,
Okay.
and then keep going.
Okay, so
And
back.
I won't.
What?
I'll be quiet so you can talk.
Okay. Okay, so back to the upholder. So the upholder meets outer and inner expectations. They meet a work deadline. They keep a New Year's resolution without much fuss. So upholders and rebels are opposites. So there's the circles, and if you could see me, there's 4 circles, okay? And again, if you want to go to Gretchen Rubin's website, you can see this framework. You can take the quiz so that you can see what you are. But a rebel and upholder are basically on the bottom and the top, and the questioner and the obliger are on the side. So you can tip to specific ones, but to your core, you are one of these tendencies. So upholders can meet inner and outer, but their weakness sometimes is they're doing so much for themselves, for others. It's like they burn out. So they have to weigh, okay, what am I going to do for myself? What am I going to do for others? It's like a constant like battle within themselves of, I need to please people, but I want to take care of myself. So then there's the rebel, which is the opposite, which I am a rebel. They resist outer and they resist inner. So you're thinking, well, how do they get anything done? So for me, I've learned that telling myself what to do doesn't get me anywhere because I resist even when I tell myself what to do. So for me, being a rebel, what's really helped me is writing down a list of could do's when I want to do. That has helped me tremendously. I have an ongoing list. I have a big ass calendar on my wall. I love my calendar. And I have notes, and I literally just write out notes, and I look, okay, well, I got to do that, but I don't feel like doing it right now, so I'm going to do this instead. And it's really helped me. So a could-do list.
So an upholder loves to-do lists.
Yes, they love systems, love
they
lists.
find they feel more free and at ease the more structure and systems they have.
Correct.
Whereas a rebel feels trapped by systems and structure. So for them, a could-do list offers a lot of option for choice.
Yes, and that's exactly it. So they're opposites. So it's really helped me being a rebel figuring out myself. Plus, if I say that I'm going to do something for myself and I put it out on social media or I announce it, I rebel against that. I will say, oh, well, I'm not going to do that now because I told everybody I was going to do it. So I'm going to rebel and I'm not going to do it. And
See,
now
that makes no sense to me as an obliger, which we'll get, because for me, putting it out there is actually super motivating. So I'm like, that's crazy business.
Yeah.
Like, why would you put it out there and be like, nope, not doing it now? Like, no.
So it's weird, but other rebels will agree and will relate, and they do. And it's crazy because in my community within social structure, I did a poll. There are more rebels in there than any other tendency. And I'm like, this is wild that's what I've attracted because they can relate to me. Now, I have 2 of that I know upholders in my community, only 2. So we're opposite. So Now let's talk about an obliger, which Anna and Kelli are both obligers. They meet outer expectations, but they have trouble with inner expectations. So they need outer accountability, just like Anna said. She will be able to post something like, I'm going to start running every day. And she's going to announce it to the world. And I'm just using an example.
I know, I hate running.
Like, I don't like running. I don't like running either. So I'm going to run every day for 10 minutes. And she puts it out in the world and people are like, yes, you can do it. You can do it. She needs that to keep her going. So they need that outer accountability. And when Anna has been able, she's realized that this is what she needs, it has propelled her so much further in her business, in her life, in all those aspects. So if you want to talk a little bit about an obliger, because you are one, or Kelli, go into it, because again, I'm a rebel, so it's hard for me to put myself in an obliger's shoes.
Go ahead, Anna. This is your thing too.
All right. Well, you're an obliger too, lady.
I know. Well, that's why I'm deferring it to you.
She's trying to oblige me.
Yeah.
Right. So the things that I want to accomplish, I know what they are. It's pretty clear to me what my goals are. But I realize that if I don't create an accountability system of some sort for myself for those outer goals, I will let them go by the wayside like 2 weeks after I start them. I was actually thinking about this morning, and Amanda and Kelli, do you remember last summer how I got this book called The Miracle Morning? And I was on fire about it. I'm like, this is going to change my headspace. It's going to change my heart space. These 7 things are amazing to do every morning. All the people say they're amazing. Classic obliger. Look, like, please somebody else because this is what they are doing. And if it works for them, it must work for me. I want to make a change of some sort on the inside. So I'm going to read this book and I'm going to do it, do what they say every morning. Okay. I firmly believe I was meant to go through that and to put it out there to teach me the lesson of I didn't make it past 14 days. I mean, how hard is it to do something for 30 days? Like, seriously, people, we should be able to do this. We're grown adults. To do something for 30 days should be pretty easy. For me, it's not. What I realized is that I didn't build an accountability system for myself to keep going for the full 30 days, because usually between days 10 and 15 on anything I want to do, I will fall off the wagon. So for me, I have to turn inner expectations into some sort of outer expectations. What works really well for me is to think, if I don't do this for myself, or if I don't do what I said I want to do, Kelli's going to be disappointed in me. Or Amanda is going to call me out of my crap. And I don't like to be called out of my crap. And I don't want to disappoint Kelli. And so I'm going to be internally motivated to keep doing what I know is healthy for me and moving towards those goals, or just what I want to do. So an obliger, the hack for it is to set up accountability structures, whether it's something super small like a checklist for yourself, or it's checking in with a friend, or if it's joining a book club because you want to read more, or if it's hiring a coach to have weekly calls for you, where you literally just tell them what you've done this week and they say, good job, right? Like, that's what an obliger needs, or this obliger needs. So Kelli, how have you, as an obliger, kind of figured out a simple, like a hack for yourself?
You know, I actually have to be really careful, because if I do too much obliging and then try to do an internal expectation, I actually rebel against myself. So I have to really be careful with that. So what I try to do is be a little bit more relaxed on the inside of my expectations, and all of a sudden they're good. But I also do have to share with people. Like, I have to be like, okay, I'm going to be doing this because this, and this. And if I don't have anybody following up with me, whatever, it will not happen. Like you said, it's the 10 to 15 days. I don't know, it must be like all obligers have that thing. It's crazy. So I make sure that I keep that a little bit flexibility inside me, though, when I'm asking for that accountability, because there's a point where I will rebel against you.
That is, yes, and that is something that obligers do, is they reach a point of obliger rebellion. If they feel like they're always pleasing somebody else and they're always taking care of other people's expectations, and it can even be trying to oblige their perfect self. I think we talked about this in the last episode, feeling like there's this perfect version of yourself you want to get to, and you keep comparing yourself with her, and you keep trying to strive towards like meeting her expectations, you're going to rebel because it's going to be too overwhelming. So yes, an obliger has to be careful that she's not doing too much people pleasing, quote unquote people pleasing, but that she's, accountability is not a bad word, but it can lead to rebellion if you overload yourself with too many things you're trying to do at once. Right. Or when the expectation seems too perfect and you're like, I can't ever get there. So yes, obligers can lean towards rebels as well, where we just say, forget it, I'm moving out. Forget it, I'm running away. Forget it, y'all can deal with this.
But like Amanda said, is you be easy on yourself. Mm-hmm. On your internal expectations, even though you need that accountability on the outside, it helps balance it out. So that's what I'm learning to do.
And rebels have no problem saying no. They're like, no, I'm not going to do that. Obligers have a lot of trouble saying no. So the balance, like the teeter-totter balance, is you have to be able to say no to others so you can say yes to yourself. And when you do say yes to yourself, it does not become overwhelming if you set up an accountability structure for yourself. So anyway, what's the last one?
The last one is a questioner. The questioners question, they meet only inner expectations. So they meet the inner, but they don't meet the outer. So questioners show a deep commitment to information, logic, and efficiency. They want to gather their own facts, decide for themselves, and act with good reason. So they question everything, like, is this okay? Is this right? Should I do this? Should I not do this? I don't know. And then they research and research and research to the point where they get stuck in analyst paralysis. So it's, when do you stop the research so that you can make the decision? So for them, they need a big goal. Like, what is your main goal? Why are you trying to get there? And when are you going to stop? So they need to set the expectation for themselves to get to a point where, okay, this is where I'm done, and then I'm going to move on. Because they will just get stuck in this cycle of, I'm just going to keep researching. I'm just going to keep finding all the answers. Oh my God. They need to break it down. So that's how they can help themselves. Again, none of us are questioners, so we can't really relate to anything, but that's from reading this book. That's what I gathered from it. Now, I do tip to a questioner. I'm like, well, why? Why should I do this? Why should I do this on the list versus this one? So sometimes I do tip to a questioner so I can relate to them. But they wake up basically saying what needs to get done today and why. It's a lot of why, but why? Yep. So those are the 4 tendencies. So the obliger and the questioner are on either sides, and the holder and the rebel are on up and down. So they're opposite. So obligers and questioners are opposite, because the questioner will meet the inner expectation but resist the outer. An obliger will meet the outer but resist the inner. Mm-hmm. So it's all extremely fascinating. And all of this has been I've taken a lot of personality tests, like a lot. Yeah. And none of them have resonated as much as this. I mean, I have built what I have built around this framework. And by me just talking about Gretchen Rubin, so many people that I know have bought her book, have gone to her website. Again, this isn't my idea, but I take it and I implement it into my business so that I can better help my clients, better serve people. I mean, shoot, my daughter, I didn't even realize it, but she even knows how to talk to me. Instead of saying like she wants to get picked up at the bus stop because it's cold. She says, Mom, you could come and get me because it's really cold outside. She doesn't say, Mom, come get me, because I'll say, no, I don't want to. But it's weird. She goes, could you come get me? I'm like, well, I could, because it is cold out. So yeah, I'll come get you.
Yeah, rebels need information, consequences, and choice.
Correct.
Yep.
So it's absolutely crazy. I'm like, how do you know how to talk to me?
She knows.
Because she knows.
Yeah.
She knows. Yeah. So those are the tendencies. And again, if you want to know more, go to Gretchen Rubin's website, check it out, take the quiz for yourself. And again, we'd love to know what you are. You're able to do a review on our podcast, you're able to comment and do the things. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear from our audience. We want to know what's going on with you ladies. So yeah.
Okay, I think that's a good place to stop for a second
Cool.
episode.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, we started talking about this around 10:27 and it's 10:48. So I feel like we have enough content for that episode. The only thing we don't have is the little commercial for that one about some sort of tip or something like that.
Which we can do that, and then I have to get off at 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so what do we want to do that about?
So I feel like the last episode, I forget what our commercial was about. Let me hang a second.
It was you talking about Larissa and the...
Oh, like the slow down, find joy in the moment sort of thing. Okay, so how about we give a like 3 quick tips on how to clean up your profile page on Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't super relate to this, or maybe we want to relate it to this, like 2 quick tips on how to match your to-do list with your tendency. I don't know, what do you feel like doing?
Well, she kind of already did that though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, because I'm just trying to think of something super simple that we can give them a tip about for brand or goals or being a better person.
Did we talk about joy in the first one or in the second one?
The first one.
Maybe we should.
I mean, we could do the profile thing.
You want to do the profile thing?
That's easy.
Okay.
I mean, and I'm assuming that I would do it, right? Or, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of my thing. I don't know. Or
no, go for it. I would say go for it, Amanda. Absolutely.
So basically just sharing your profile picture, your cover photo. That's what I was thinking about, your bio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe just talk quickly about maybe pictures, whatever you want. I mean, like I'm feeling like this is maybe like a minute long, like nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing super long.
You know, you might want to just do pictures, your profile picture, your back picture, and really be careful of the pictures that you're putting on your feed. You know,
and
really
maybe you could throw canva.com a bone here and like be like, that's what I use to do mine, and it's, you know, free version. It's amazing. So many people I talk to don't even know about Canva, and they're trying to figure out how to make their pictures look good. Yeah, so maybe branding tip is using Canva for your photos.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, next calling. Okay, pause. All right, so here's a little tip about branding you on your Facebook personal profile, because this is something that I feel is very valuable. And I use Canva, and I know a lot of people still don't know about Canva, which is really hard to wrap my head around, but canva.com, even the free version is great, but using that to create yourself a cover photo and even your profile picture, but making sure that your profile picture on Facebook is a picture of you, that it's clear, that it's crisp, that it embodies your personality and who you are, so that when people go to your profile, they can see you and get to know you just by seeing your profile picture. And then your cover photo, get creative. Check out Canva and kind of play around with it. Play around with the colors. See what you like. Kind of figure out your style. And it will grow and evolve as you grow and evolve and as you change. So just a quick tip for you to brand yourself on social media. You feel like that
absolutely
was okay?
perfect.
That was awesome. That was fantastic.
It was absolutely perfect.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. I think that's a wrap, ladies.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. All right.
Awesome.
Well, Amanda, you go to your free coaching Wednesday.
Cool.
I'm going to get out of the closet. Kelli, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, having a personal day where you do everything you want to do.
I am. Okay. Have a good one, ladies. Bye.
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 How do you push end?
I don't know. I'm gonna push